Now, the voting came out incredibly close at certain times. In fact, number 10 on this list made the cut by a margin of only 1 vote. Still, with 19 votes, number 10 is Kyurem. To be honest, I was very surprised with how many people voted for this creature. I mean, after all, neither the game nor the movie he stars in has been released outside of Japan as of now. But I guess you don't need to know a lot about something to like it, and I definitely like Kyurem. First off, Kyurem has a very unique typing, Ice and Dragon. Now, you all know that I'm not a big fan of Ice types, but most people are, so I can see why this type matchup would be very appealing. Also, for an Ice type, it's a freaking powerhouse! Kyurem has the highest base stat total out of all Ice and Dragon types. Kyurem also has 3 forms. Using a Gene Wedge, normal Kyurem can transform into either Black Kyurem or White Kyurem, depending on if you're using a Zekrom or Reshiram. Talk about a cold fusion!
Oh, that sucks.
And, unlike a certain other Gen 5 Pokemon with alternate forms, these forms also greatly affect Kyurem's battle capabilities. Normal Kyurem is the most balanced of the 3, Black Kyurem greatly excels in attack, and White Kyurem equally excels in special attack. Their move pools also change slightly. Normal Kyurem can learn Scary Face and Glaciate, Black Kyurem can learn Fusion Bolt and Freeze Shock, and White Kyurem can learn Fusion Flare and Ice Burn. You see, most legendaries have a signature move, but Kyurem has 3! Lastly, Kyurem's design is pretty freaking cool. It's very well detailed and even a bit intimidating, although there's just something about it. I'm not sure what it is, but it's almost ugly, to be honest. But really, that's just my opinion. Now, there's not much else I can say about Kyurem right now. Maybe it will gain more popularity with the Western release of Black and White 2 or M15, but for now, it remains number 10 on this list. With 22 votes, the number 9 spot on this list goes to the cute and fun-loving ancestor of all Pokemon, Mew. Yeah, before Arceus was introduced and ruined his reputation, Mew was said to be the ancestor of all Pokemon. Even so, Mew has proven to be very mysterious over the years. Its ability to turn invisible, teleport, and transform into other Pokemon means that it's said to have been spotted by only a few people during all the time it's been alive. It was also the only Pokemon that you could not catch in Red and Blue. Well, you could do it by activating a glitch, but even then, it could corrupt your save file and even the entire cartridge. But that's just one of the things I like about Mew. Aside from Smeargle, Mew can learn the most moves out of all Pokemon. He can learn every single TM, HM, and Move Tutor move available. Also, his stats are even across the board, meaning that Mew is the ultimate wildcard. He could be a tank, a sweeper, a heavy hitter, a status fighter, a supporter, anything. That's just one more reason why I like Mew. However, the biggest reason why I like Mew is what he does in the film Mewtwo Strikes Back. Mew was a very enjoyable character to watch. He always tried to be the peacemaker, and his voice and antics just made you want to smile.
Oh, it is so cute! So adorable!
The only thing I don't like about Mew is what he does in Super Smash Bros. In the first game and Melee, Mew does nothing but fly off screen and give you a point bonus in single player mode. Yeah, but I would have preferred him to do some damage. Or at least attempt to do some damage. That point bonus doesn't do me much good if I die, lose my no-miss bonus. Then in Brawl, he drops CDs and stickers. Well, at least he gives you something, but it still doesn't help you in battle. Come on, Mew can do everything other Pokemon can do, and all he does in Brawl is drop CDs. That's just lame.
I want you to know that I feel your pain.
Number 8 is a tie. Now, what I was planning to do in this situation was to cast a vote myself in order to break the tie. However, under the circumstances, I found that it was better to leave them as one entry. With 25 votes each, number 8 is both Zekrom and Reshiram.
Oh, Squidward!
Yeah, I know, couldn't have worked out any better. Reshiram, Zekrom, and the previously mentioned Kyurem make up the Tau Trio. Legends of the Unova region, and Dragons of Fire, Ice, and Lightning. Gee, doesn't that sound familiar? By themselves, however, Reshiram and Zekrom are based on the concept of yin and yang, Zekrom representing yin, ideals, and darkness, and Reshiram representing yang, truth, and light. Their role as opposites is further emphasized by their role in black and white. One chooses N, and the other chooses the protagonist. Also, in reference to design, Zekrom is designed to look more masculine and tough, while Reshiram is designed to look airy and feminine.
Man, who knew Nintendo could be so racist?
Well, I guess that could be considered racist, or even sexist if taken the wrong way. But if you have a problem with it, blame Ken Sugimori. Back on topic, both of these Pokemon have a base stat total of 680, and take full advantage of their secondary types. Zekrom learns moves like Fusion Bolt, Thunder, and Bolt Strike, while Reshiram learns moves like Fusion Flare, Fire Blast, and Blue Flare. And, in a Pokemon cliché of sorts, both of these Pokemon can speak to humans through use of telepathy. I guess that's cool, but ever since Lugia did it, it's really lost a lot of its wow factor. Still, I can't deny how cool these two are. But just remember that balance can only be achieved with both the yin and the yang.
Well guys, Missouri's in the middle of one of the biggest droughts in the area's recorded history right now. You know what that means? It's time to bring out the deity of rain.
I have no idea what that meant.
With 30 votes, number 7 is Kyogre. According to Pokemyth, Kyogre was feuding with Groudon and created the seas by bringing heavy rain. No, not that heavy rain. Kyogre is based upon the Leviathan of Hebrew mythology, the master of the sea. And, fittingly, that design is freaking awesome! It's like a mix between a whale and a fish, and it's easily one of the coolest looking legendaries and water types. But it's not just a master of the water because, well... You can fly, you can fly, you can fly! However, it can't actually learn any flying type moves.
Well, this sucks!
However, Kyogre can learn moves from Water, Normal, Bug, Steel, Ice, Fighting, Ground, Rock, Electric, Psychic, and Poison. It's also pretty cool that Kyogre is the only non-Ice type that can learn Sheer Cold. However, the biggest reason why I like Kyogre is because of nostalgia. Kyogre was the first legendary Pokemon I ever caught. Granted, I used a Master Ball, but it was still a momentous occasion in my childhood. Well, fond memories aside, Kyogre is a very dependable water type with an awesome design and concept. Seriously though, we could use some rain right about now.
It's raining men! Hallelujah, it's raining men! Amen!
No!
Next we have possibly the scariest Pokemon ever, unless you're talking to KB Madhouse. With 39 votes, number 6 is Giratina. Giratina is currently the only Ghost-type legendary, and does the type quite a lot of justice. First off, let's look at Giratina's design. Giratina's design appears to be based off those of several menacing animals, both real and mythological, most prominently the basilisk, the dragon, and the scorpion.
Get over here!
This makes for one epic design, even outdoing some of my favorite Dark-type designs. Now, let's talk about what it can do in battle. Giratina has a nasty array of attacks at its disposal, such as Shadow Force, Earth Power, Aura Sphere, Dragon Claw, Thunder, Giga Impact, and Dream Eater. I know that would make me scared! Also, Giratina has some added novelty with two different forms, much like Kyurem. Origin form is attack-based, and Altered form is defense-based, and both have a base stat total of 680. But there's just something about Giratina I just can't get over. According to the Diamond and Pearl Pokedex, it lives in a world on the reverse side of ours, and appears in an ancient cemetery. Could Giratina possibly be the Pokemon equivalent of Satan? Probably not, but it's still awesome either way. Number 5 on this list was the first Pokemon to get its own personal battle music in a Pokemon game. With 41 votes, number 5 is Deoxys. Seriously, the developers had so much faith in this Pokemon that they gave it its own music. And what do you know, Deoxys delivered. Deoxys was originally an alien virus that was mutated by a laser beam into the Pokemon we all know and love. Fittingly so, its design is based off both an alien life form and human DNA. That is a cool concept if I ever saw one. Also, Deoxys has some awesome abilities. Well, not really its game abilities, those kinda suck. I'm talking about the special abilities. Deoxys has the ability to regenerate any limbs that it has lost in battle, kinda like a starfish. It also has the ability to clone itself. However, as opposed to the likes of Dolly the sheep, Deoxys can do this on demand and control the clones. Its third and most famous special ability is to change into one of 4 different forms. Man, that seems to be a big trend on this list. Anyway, Deoxys' different forms drastically change its battle capabilities. Normal form has high attack, special attack, and speed with lackluster HP, defense, and special defense. Attack form has extraordinary attack and special attack. Defense form has exceptional defenses, and speed form has unmatched speed without using items. These forms also give a complete overhaul to Deoxys' move pool. My only complaint is that Deoxys can't change form whenever it wants in the games. A bit of a shame, but cool enough that it has them at all. Whatever your strategy, there's a Deoxys to match it, which is why it's number 5. While on the subject of DNA and cloning, number 4 is Mewtwo. With 42 votes, it's not hard to see that Mewtwo is much more popular than his cute counterpart. And to be honest, I can't disagree. Mewtwo is, in my mind, the definitive psychic type. I mean, he has everything you would expect from a psychic type. Telekinesis, mind reading, telepathy, mind control, projecting force fields, being able to block other Pokemon's abilities, and doing exceptionally well in puzzle games. What, that's not what you think of when you think of a psychic? In that case, 4 out of 5 dentists agree with you! We should also take into account Mewtwo's move pool. Mewtwo can learn quite a large number of moves. He's not quite as proficient as Mew, but he's still a huge wildcard in battle. Plus, he can learn some of the best Psychic moves by level up, including Psychic, Future Sight, Psystrike, and Psycho Cut. Next, Mewtwo has had 2 different movies based around him. Mewtwo Strikes Back, which was also the first Poke movie, and Mewtwo Returns. In Mewtwo Strikes Back, he is a truly epic villain, as he is described through dialogue as the world's strongest Pokemon, and his voice and actions are all very malevolent and truly awesome. In Mewtwo Returns, he's a bit different. Him and his fellow clones are living at the remote Mount Guena. However, when Team Rocket commits an attack of the clones, he steps up as a respectable and fatherly character and protects his friends from harm. That is cool. Lastly, Mewtwo is incredibly nostalgic for me. Because I saw the anime before I played the games, Mewtwo was the first Pokemon I ever saw. There's just one thing about Mewtwo that bothers me though. Mewtwo is the clone of Mew. Therefore, Mew had to exist before Mewtwo. So, why the hell does Mewtwo come before Mew in the Pokédex? A minor detail, but still rather strange. Anyway, Mewtwo is a truly epic Pokemon. So, who's next? With 48 votes, number 3 is another Guardian of the Sea and my personal favorite legendary, Lugia. Honestly guys, thank you for voting for him as much as you did. Lugia is easily my favorite legendary for a vast number of reasons. For one, let's look at the Lugia from the power of 1. This Lugia is shown to be very respectable, powerful, and epic. Like Mewtwo before it, Lugia can speak to humans using telepathy and even has some pretty cool lines in the movie. Also, his theme, known as Lugia's Song, is my favorite song in the entire Pokemon franchise. For 2, let's look at his design. That is a cool design. I know I've said that a lot in this countdown, but frankly, that's just the perfect word to describe a lot of these legendaries. Cool. Now, unlike the majority of Pokemon, it's rather unclear what Lugia's design is based on. This means that Lugia's design is totally original, which is something I admire greatly. For 3, let's look at what he can do in battle. Lugia is an absolute beast. His stats are some of the best I've seen overall, and the same goes for his move pool, with moves such as Sky Attack, Future Sight, Hydro Pump, Dragon Rush, and his signature move, Aero Blast. And that's just by level up. He can learn a huge amount more with TMs and other methods. For 4, let's not forget the most powerful Shadow Pokemon ever created, XD001, also known as Shadow Lugia. Also, this is tiny, but it's something I really feel I need to mention. Thanks to scenes from the anime, it appears that Lugia has the ability to produce offspring, which is something that can't be said for the vast majority of legendaries. However, it can't actually breed in the games. Bummer. Well, that's about all I'm gonna say about Lugia for now. I could go on, but I would probably bore you. Lugia is just a fantastic Pokemon, and although I'm slightly disappointed that it's only number 3, I'm glad to know that there are at least 48 of you out there who agree with me. From the beginning, it was pretty clear who the top 2 were going to be. Both of these Pokemon gained an almost immediate lead over the votes, and they were neck and neck the entire way. In fact, as I said in the description, these last 2 are only separated by 3 votes. Now, with that said, I'll get to it. With 74 votes, number 2 is Animal Guy's favorite Pokemon, Darkrai. Okay, I'm guessing that the vast majority of you have already seen Animal Guy's video, and I honestly can't do it better justice. So rather than me explain Darkrai, just go watch his video. Next segment.
Bad form!
Okay, fine, I'll take a crack at it. Darkrai is currently the only Dark-type legendary Pokemon, so seeing how Dark is one of my favorite types, I had high expectations for Darkrai, and he didn't even come close to disappointing. Darkrai is basically the physical manifestation of a nightmare. It can give nightmares to any living thing that it hits, and its appearance is similar to that of a ghost or a shadow.
That is fucking awesome.
Darkrai is also a force to be reckoned with in battle. Its move pool and stats are pure genius, and his ability Bad Dreams ensures that his battle will take a toll on your Pokemon. However, the biggest reason why people like Darkrai is what he does in the movie The Rise of Darkrai. In the movie, Darkrai is hated and feared by everything that walks, except for one girl. That girl gave him a new home and some much needed care. Because of the actions of that one girl, Darkrai risked his life in a battle against Dialga and Palkia when the town was starting to disintegrate, and regrettably, his life was forfeit. That Darkrai made a deep impression on many people and gave the number 1 contender quite a run for his money, but it missed out by just 3 votes. Now, the honorable mentions are going to go a bit differently this time. Because every legendary received at least 1 vote, I'm going to name all of them off and how many votes they received. Let's begin. With 1 vote, Heatran, Mesprit, Regirock, Terrakion, Uxie, and Virizion. With 2 votes, Azo, Cobalion, Cresselia, Landorus, Manaphy, Moltres, Thundurus, and Tornadus. With 3 votes, Keldeo and Meloetta. With 4 votes, Regigigas and Genesect. With 5 votes, Registeel and Latias. With 6 votes, Regice. With 7 votes, Celebi. With 8 votes, Raikou. With 9 votes, Shaymin. With 10 votes, Palkia and Zapdos. With 11 votes, Articuno and Groudon. With 12 votes, Suicune. With 14 votes, Arceus, Entei, and Jirachi. With 17 votes, Dialga and Latios, and with 18 votes, Victini and Ho-Oh. Before I move on, guys, I'd just like to once again thank everyone who voted, and that it's a real blessing to have such loyal viewers, and why am I prolonging it any further? If you haven't already guessed who number 1 is, you're obviously not a huge fan of Pokemon. Ladies and gentlemen, with 77 votes, number 1 is Rayquaza. Now, I have to say that this was definitely not unexpected. Rayquaza has a massive fan base, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't one of them. Pretty much everything about Rayquaza just screams awesome. His design is fearsome and intimidating. He's a freaking behemoth in Destiny Deoxys. His move pool is extremely powerful. His boss fight in Brawl is cool and even a bit challenging. He can calm down one of the biggest feuds with just one roar of his ability is unique and can be crippling to the other team. He's the freaking final boss of Mystery Dungeon 1 and he's so awesome! Some people say that Rayquaza is overrated. Well, let me just say this. Nothing is overrated if it's for a good reason. And trust me, there is plenty of reason for Rayquaza to receive these votes. Rayquaza's actually already won 2 contests similar to this one, although on a much larger scale, winning by popular vote in the Korean Pokemon Global Link promotion and the Japanese 15th anniversary poll. Well, make that 3, because according to you guys, Rayquaza is the greatest legendary Pokemon ever. Well guys, Pokemonth has now reached its end. It's been one hell of a ride, and I hope you all enjoyed it just as much as I did. I'm the Phoenix King, and I'll see you guys next time with something completely different.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide. Teach Pokemon to understand the power that's inside.